Okay, hello everybody, you're welcome to the Auto Doctor Show. This is the show where we talk about your cars and your cars only. My name is Lolade, and on the show with me today is my co-host Anthony.
Good morning, Lolade. It's nice to be here.
Yes, good to have you on the show today.
Yeah, thank you.
And also in the house is my prolific guest. Again on the show, Mr. Oluwole Owoni.
Good morning, Lolade.
Thank you for being on the show this morning. I know you're a very busy man.
Good morning.
I know you're a very busy man, so to find time to come on the show is not really easy. Thank you for joining us this morning.
You're welcome.
Okay, so Anthony.
So we're talking about things you should look out for before purchasing a vehicle in Nigeria. You know, before buying a car, there are some things you need to consider, right?
Yes.
You know, consider if you're buying a 4-cylinder or a V6, maybe because of power or because of city driving, fuel consumption and all of that. You know, then you now decide if you want to buy a sedan or if you want to buy an SUV or a minivan, maybe because of the family and all of that.
True.
Then you decide if you want to buy a Jeep or if you want to buy a crossover vehicle because of the state of the roads and all of that. You know, so a lot of things come into consideration before wanting to buy a car. Now we are here to talk about things you should look out for basically before purchasing a vehicle. You know, things basically that will help with the running costs, things that will help with the performance of the vehicle, things that you should always look out for, because buying a car is just like buying any other device you're spending a huge sum of money on. You need to research, know why this brand of car is common, know the advantage and disadvantages of owning that kind of car, right? Knowing what to even what you should expect when you get the car, knowing if there's, very importantly, knowing if there's availability of spare parts, because buying a car is just one thing, maintaining the car in the long run is another. Because if you buy a car and then there are no spare parts to, you know, fix the car when the car has issues, then why are you even buying the car in the first place? You know, so these are the things we are going to talk about. Mr. Oluwole, can you throw more light on things you know or things you think we should look out for? Maybe talking about specific brands or talking about things in general, things we should look out for.
Like I said, there are a lot of things too. And you said there are a lot of things to look out for in buying a car. And I think, once again, it's important to get a technician or who knows about car before you can buy a car.
Sure.
Because your questions will be answered. What are the questions? In fact, it just come to me now that buying a car, my friend buys a car or bought a car, doesn't mean I can buy the same car. True. Like, for instance, I'm working, my salary is just maybe 500,000, and then just 500,000. And then my first salary is 1.5 million naira per month. I just buy a Range Rover, and I want to go and buy what he buys. No, no, I won't do that.
That's true.
That's one particular thing I should look out for in buying why he buys the car, bought that car. Now, another thing is, like, if you buy an Avensis, an Avensis is a Toyota brand.
Yeah.
And then is buying a Camry. We're not buying the same brand. We're buying a Toyota Executive as Avensis, and then buying Toyota Camry, a number man should buy. Avensis Hub is like 100,000 naira. Why a Camry guy like 30,000 naira?
Exactly.
So why am I going to buy?
Those are the small
little
things.
I can answer this question for you. You want to buy a car, or you want to dash me a car now? You dash me a Range Rover 2007. Why give me such car?
Why?
I cannot maintain it. So looking for what you maintain, how to maintain a car, maintenance of a car is an important question to answer. If it is cheaper, it's available before you buy a car. That's what I'm thinking all along.
You know, this is a very, very critical topic, because now I'm down to Nigeria. Cars we need to avoid in Nigeria. Think about them before you buy them.
Yes.
Exactly, because recently I was working on a car recently, and now the car was leaking from the condenser.
Wow.
Okay, so all the gas leaked out.
Because
now we're trying to buy the condenser. We searched everywhere. We could not find the condenser. Eventually, what I hate seriously is trying to patch a condenser or something like that. We just have to do it because there was no other option.
wow.
You get, so I believe one of the things to watch out for in Nigeria, exactly, because we're now in this case in Nigeria, is are there spare parts available for this car I'm about to buy? Because after you buy the car, then you're going to have problems looking for spare parts for the car, and eventually the car will be gone because when it has a fault and you can't find the parts, that's the end of the story.
I had a car, Toyota 2, Toyota brand 2, Sion. That's quite low.
Very low.
And it's supposed to be a family car, you know, like roomy, 6-seaters and like that, 3-seaters and like that. But eventually, each time this car kept coming back to me because the engine is leaking, the tire is bad, the hub is this, is that, and all sorts of complaints. So I think the road too should be considered because before buying a car, are you a traveler? Is your job from place to the other place? Okay, what kind of car do you need? Okay, do you need to? Is the road good? If my husband is in Ondo and your wife is in Lagos, I have to come back maybe once or twice a month or you know. Others choose to give you a car that will be higher a bit, not just too low. Then okay, save money and buy maybe a Tokunboh car that will buy a brand new car that will be too low for you. You know, I can't afford a brand new Tokunboh Lexus. I'll buy a Tokunboh used Highlander that will take you the same way for the height of the car. You know, so I prefer to see that the road is important to buying a car or for uses of that car.
Very, very important. In Nigeria, you need to consider road first.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Think about where you live, places you go every day. You get it? Because if you buy a car that is too low for your area, you end up destroying the car.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely, because where I live right now, the roads are very bad. The major road is fine. Once you turn into the street, man, it's terrible.
Do you remember this? Sorry, do you remember this one too? That if you have a car is like a human being built, right? A car is the attitude of a human being because it was copied. The nose of a car is the nose of a man.
True.
Where you have the spike of air in your hair, the filter is the air that comes into your nose. Same way, if I'm living in Nakute, sorry to say this, Nakute, where everywhere is dusty, and I'm driving through that road every day. And my filter, the car air filter is not available, or it's too expensive to
change all the time.
Do you know how much you'll be spending? Because this air will be clogging, this dust will be clogging this air filter all the time, back to back. You're going into the condenser, you're going into serving everything, evaporator. You'll be spending so much within this car. So if you're having those kind of things and those kind of questions or concern, buying a car, definitely those can be answered before you buy it by seeing a professional to answer the question.
Cars that
very important.
When they begin to have electrical problems, you need specialized people.
They're like a nightmare.
They're a serious nightmare. There was a particular car that tormented me for several months because of an electrical issue. It wasn't starting, and that car was so complicated. Wires everywhere. You get just confused. You get so those kind of cars. I think you should avoid them because of where we are. Some manufacturers manufacture cars that. I don't want to say that only their technicians
can work. So that's the idea, right?
Yes.
Yeah, a car manufacturer will always manufacture cars that only them possibly can fix.
Yes.
You know, there are some specific brands that they make the car so complicated. You know, a little thing that you could lose out, you see that a lot of other things that are not really necessary, you would have to remove them just to, just to change that little, making the whole job, tiresome and labor intensive and at the same time and overall very expensive to to fix. Another thing you should also think about before buying a vehicle is, I know in Nigeria, I don't know if we do what we call the research, research looking back on previous cars, because I know in Nigeria when we buy Tokunboh cars, we buy earlier model cars, used cars and the rest. But there's what we call the technical bulletin or recalls, right? There are cars over the years that have had specific issues, and manufacturers have had to call those particular cars back. That's the recall, in order for them to fix those particular issues. You remember about the Takata airbag issue of some time where they had to recall a whole lot of cars, a whole lot of cars just to fix that airbag. They're talking about newer model Mercedes Benzes, right? In Nigeria, it's quite unfortunate that we don't even refine our own crude oil for fuel and the rest. So we don't even know what the fuel that we buy entails, what the properties like, the octane rating,
yeah,
and all of that, you know. So newer model Mercedes Benzes and even other high-end cars, right? They manufacture these engines based on specific octane rating,
yes.
And because we don't even know what our fuel octane rating is like, which we know is always low.
It's very low, definitely.
It's very low. So you need to most times use what we call the octane boosters, or all these and all of the fuel treatment and all of that, just to be able to use this kind of cars, right?
Well.
So those are the cars. Those are the things you consider if you're buying high-end cars. You know that these cars are manufactured because with advanced countries technologies at heart. So when you're bringing them to Nigeria, you need to be sure that you can be able to maintain it. Yes,
you know, means every time you buy fuel, you need to buy an octane.
Oh yeah, all those things. So yes,
it's expensive.
Oh yes, oh yes, yes, yes.
Thank you for watching this episode of the Auto Doctor Show. This show is sponsored by AutoCheck Africa, your 360-degree automotive solutions company. With AutoCheck, you can apply for a car loan and get access to several finance partners. To apply, just visit www.autocheck.africa. Think cars, think.